Yes. What's going on, family? What is up, guys? Welcome to today's session with your boy, Abel. Super excited to be here, family, with every single one of y'all. I know you guys are excited, family, because I'm excited for the start of this week. All right, I'm super excited to see exactly what we're going to be able to come, or what we're going to be able to get for this week. Right, but we're going to go ahead and get this stream started, guys, in about 5 minutes, right, at 6:05, right, 5 minutes past the hour. We're going to be live. We're going to look at news for the week, right? We're going to look at some setups for the week. And we're going to overall, guys, have a phenomenal freaking week. Let's go. Right, so 5 minutes, actually 4 minutes. 4 minutes, guys, and we'll get this thing started. Let's get it. Yes, family. If you guys can hear my voice, if you guys can see the screen, let me know by going ahead and smashing that like button for me, please. Right, if you guys appreciate these live sessions that I'm about to do consistently for you guys right here, exclusively on YouTube, then smash those like buttons, guys. Smash that like button. Let's get them likes up. Right, that's gonna also help this video right here, this stream, go ahead and really reach more people. Right, because we coming to dominate YouTube, family. Right, we coming to take over YouTube and really be the #1 Forex channel in the game. Right, and it's really going to be based off the value that I'm about to provide to every single one of y'all today, family. So go ahead and drop them likes, hit them likes, smash that like button, family, for your boy as a thank you for these streams. And we're going to go ahead and give it, guys. We're going to give it about 30 more seconds, and we'll get this thing started, family. Let's get it. Yes, family. What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's stream with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys. Super blessed to be here with every single one of y'all. And like I said, we're gonna actually do these streams, guys, every single Sunday moving forward, right? Because I truly enjoy doing these weekly outlooks, right? Just giving you guys a little insight of what I believe is probably gonna happen this week. You know, we're also, guys, gonna really implement a lot of fundamentals into our analysis, right? Because if you're not familiar with fundamental analysis, guys, then I need you guys to really be aware that fundamental analysis is extremely crucial if you truly want to go ahead and at least have the best probability when it comes to actually trading, guys, because trading truly is all about probabilities at the end of the day, right? We can't control where this market ends up going, but we can control, right, certain things, guys, and we're gonna talk about all of that today, right, on today's stream. Let me go ahead and start turning down this music a little bit, right? Let me go ahead and turn down this music a little bit, guys. So family, can you guys go ahead and drop your location in the chat for me right now? Drop your location. Where are you tuning in from? Let me go ahead and give you guys your locational shout outs. I truly am excited, guys, to see how far, right, we can go ahead and really expand this information, right? Because I've been trading now for the past 6.5 years, guys, and it's something that absolutely changed my life, right? Because of this skill set, guys, I've been able to really not just obviously change my finances, but even go ahead and really create such a large network of people that I've either taught or I've also been able to really expand also the people that I can also learn from as well, right? So today's session, guys, is going to be very, very exciting because, again, we're going to really break down these markets and see what we can really think of or what we can come up with, guys, going into this week, right? But I want to see where we're at today, right? Go ahead and drop your locations in the chat. I see we got Michigan in the building, right? I see we got Michigan in the building. What is up? Let's see, we got Dallas in the house as well, right? Go ahead and continue dropping your locations, family, in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and get this session started, right? And we're going to go ahead and get started, guys, by really looking at, you know, what we have on the actual calendar for this week, right? Fundamental analysis, guys, is extremely important for you guys to understand, right? Fundamentals dictates long-term market direction. Technical analysis pretty much just tells us, guys, what's happening on a now basis, right? But fundamentals, guys, will really controls long-term directional flow, right? And that's probably, and it's something that I think a lot of newer traders really don't understand too much, right? In fact, guys, I just now started taking fundamentals more seriously probably over the past 2 years, right? Where I really started to dive head first and to really start to understand exactly, right, how these news events, right, move these markets, right? And it's very important for you guys to do the same exact thing, guys, right? So let's go ahead and go through the calendar for this week, see what we got on the radar. If you guys do not look at the calendar, guys, at the beginning of every single week, that is something that I highly recommend you guys to do, right? Because it's just very smart as a trader, guys, to really be aware of when high volatility is going to enter the market, right? Again, guys, there's certain things that we can't control, right? Volatility in the market, we can't control. But we can at least make the proper decisions on if we should trade or if we should avoid trading around those periods of volatility, right? So let's see who else we got in the building today. I see we got Miami, the 305 in the building. We got Norfolk, Virginia. We got Baltimore in the house, Bahamas, Vermont in the building. I see you, Kyle. What is up? We got West Africa. We got Chicago. We got Rhode Island, Spartanburg, South Carolina. What is up? How are you guys feeling? We got my guy, Modi. What's going on, Modi? Good to see you in the chats, my brother. How are you doing? We got Chicago in the building. We got Kenya. We got Brooklyn, my brother Danny. What's going on, bro? Good to see you, little bro. Appreciate you jumping on as well. Right, let's go ahead and get into this, guys, and really see what we have in terms of news going into this week, guys. So looking at tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, guys, we have, and I'm really going to focus on mainly just the red folders, right? Because there's different type of impact that you can expect for certain news releases. Now, if you guys don't know what this calendar is or even how to access it, it's as simple, guys, as going to forexfactory.com, right? And then just look at the top of the screen, and it's going to be the big green button, right? It's going to say calendar. Right now, when you guys first come here, you guys are going to see a calendar that's a little bit different, right? It's going to look a little bit more colorful, right? It's going to have like damn near a lot of different news events, right? I'm going to show you guys what yours is probably going to look like if you're just now going to this website, right? You're going to see something like this with a lot. I mean, I'm talking about there is probably 100 different news events, guys, that we have to, I'm not going to say worry about, but, you know, there's different news events, guys, that are going to come out throughout the whole week. Now, certain news events are going to cause a lot more volatility than others, right? Now, the ones that I like to focus on, guys, are the red folders, right? The red folders are the ones, right, that really can potentially bring a lot of volatility, right? Those are our high impact news events, right? And those are the ones that we really should be focusing on. So I like to go ahead and uncheck, right, by using the filter in the top right corner, the yellow folders and the orange folders, right? And I like to leave the gray folders because the gray folders help us see when there's a holiday occurring. And then the red folders are the big boys, right? Those are the high impact news events. All right, so looking at what we got for tomorrow, guys, we don't really have too much for tomorrow, right? All we have is a red folder for the Great Britain pound, right? We have the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey going to be speaking. Right now, this specific conference is about stop scams, right? Very interesting, right? I think he needs to talk about, the scams that we see all the time here in the Forex markets, right? We have so many scammers that are constantly coming up. He needs to be talking to us, right? But anytime he's speaking, guys, and this is just a rule of thumb, anytime you see a high political figure, right? Somebody that's in a high position, right? Anytime that they are going to speak, we just have to be cautious about that, right? We have to be very, very safe, guys, right? Because, yeah, this is about scams, but depending on what he actually says, it can absolutely influence the Great Britain pound, right? And we have to be aware of these things, guys. So anytime any high political figure is speaking, I always like to be aware of these things. Right now, the times that you guys are going to look at, this is all Eastern Standard Time because I'm on the East Coast, right? So be mindful of this in your time, right? So at 5:05, we have Governor Bailey who's going to be speaking, and it could potentially bring some added volatility to the Great Britain pound. Right now, we also have a bank holiday, guys, for the Chinese yuan. I don't know if any of us on this call are going to be trading the Chinese yuan. I don't really trade the Chinese yuan ever, but it is a bank holiday there that's going to go on, tomorrow, right? Now, let's go ahead and get into Tuesday, guys. On Tuesday, we actually have some big news for the Australian dollar. I know I trade Australian dollar if the opportunity is there, right? So I have to be aware of these things, guys. So at 12:30 a.m., right, we have the cash rate and we have the RBA rate statement all coming out on Tuesday. Right, guys, the cash rate is a big deal, right? Because that's the interest rate decision that's going to be had, right? As of right now, right, the interest rate for the overnight loans is at 0.10%. They're predicting it to remain the same. I mean, if we really look at this, it's been pretty much, the same for the past few years, right? So this pretty much is probably going to end up coming out the same, in my opinion, but either way, we always just want to play it safe and be aware that you never know, right? Something crazy could occur. Guys, we are in a time right now where, a lot of interest rates were very, very low, but now because of inflation and because of other situations, a lot of interest rates are actually getting hiked up, right? So 12:30 a.m., right? Pretty much midnight over here in the U.S. Right now, going into the morning at 10 a.m., we do have USD news, right, with the ISM services PMI information. And if you guys ever want to know exactly what these news events are for, is as simple as coming over here to the vanilla envelopes, clicking it, and then you literally get all the information that you need right here, right? So this specific news event, right, it measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers. Right now, that right there might sound like a completely different language to you, right? So let's go ahead and go down a little bit more, and let's find the top or the section where it says why traders care, right? And this might give you a little insight as to why this is important, right? So this specific news event, guys, right, it's a leading indicator for economic health, right? Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy, right? So that's pretty much why it is something to be aware of, because, hey, you never know. Again, something that's said or something that happens can absolutely shake these markets, right? So just be aware of this, right? At 10 a.m. on Tuesday, we do have a red folder with PMI data getting released. Now, going into Wednesday, guys, at 2 p.m., we have FOMC meeting minutes, right? Anytime we see anything with FOMC, we have to be very cautious about this, right? FOMC in itself, guys, is a very, very big, it's a tier 1 data news event, right? This can absolutely shape these markets in ways that could benefit your trade or in ways that could absolutely hurt your trade if you're not aware of it, right? So at 2 p.m., be mindful, right? We do have news that's getting released for FOMC. It's going to affect the US dollar. So be careful if you're trading around 2 p.m. Eastern because of that, okay? Now going into Thursday, guys, we don't have nothing on the schedule, no red folders at least. So going into Friday, we do have news at 8:30 a.m. early in the morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern for the Canadian dollar. And this is also going to be a tier 1 data news release with the employment change and the unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar itself. Guys, I mean, this is stuff that I shouldn't even have to tell y'all because it's kind of common sense, but this is going to influence the markets, right? This is going to influence the markets, guys, based on how these numbers actually come out, okay? So we just have to be aware of these things, right? But overall, this is our news for the week, all right? It's not going to be too much of a hectic week. There's not too many red folders on here, but the ones that I will be focused on will be the cash rate for the Australian dollar, FOMC, the meeting minutes for the USD, right? And then obviously the Canadian dollar as well with the employment change and the unemployment rate. That's also going to be released as well, right? So that is our news for the week. Now let's go ahead and get into the markets and see what we actually got going on here, guys, with some form of technical analysis that we're about to get into. Right now, what I typically do, guys, if this is your first time ever watching me live, if you've ever actually watched me doing analysis before, or if this is your first time watching me doing analysis before, go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat real quick. Right? If this is your first time ever seeing me do a live analysis, drop some 3s in the chat, right? Because I want to just make sure to see who's actually new here, right? Because I know we have a lot of people that are checking in that have been watching me live already, right? In the previous platform that I was educating for, a lot of you guys already probably watched me literally teach this stuff live, for the past 3-4 years, right? But we have a lot of newer traders as well that probably never even heard of who Abel is, right? That are just now finding my channel, right? That are just now seeing this type of information. So if that is you, go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat just so that I can see who we actually have here. Right, and let me see what we got here. I see we got Florida in the building. What's going on, Cindy? We got Kevin. Shout out to my guy Kevin in the building. Bronx, New York, checking in. What's up? Let's see what else we got here. Right, I see we got Jaden, number 3. What's going on, Jaden? I hope I'm able to provide you with some value for today. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna be excited about the information I'm gonna give y'all. Right, because I don't think I'm the best trader in the world, guys, by far. Right, I'm not. Right, there's traders out there that are probably better at teaching. Right, there's traders out there that probably make way more money than me. But one thing that I am good at doing is really simplifying these markets, right? And that's truly what I'm all about, guys, right? If you're here looking for the most advanced stuff, then that's not me. I'm all about simplicity, right? Because simplicity is what allows me to make money, right? Simplicity is what allows me to make withdrawals, right? And that's what we should focus on, right? Don't focus on trying to be the most advanced trader. Focus on trying to be the most profitable trader by keeping things as simple as possible, okay? So let's see what else we got here in the building. I see we got Milwaukee in the building. What is going on? Shout out to you out there in Milwaukee. I see you, Shaddai. How are you doing? Nikayla, I see you as well. First time seeing you teach. Familiar with trading? Well, amazing, right? Again, hopefully I'm able to provide you guys with some value, right? That is all my intention with these live streams, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this now, right? So what I typically like to do, guys, at the beginning of every week, right? I love to do a full in-depth analysis on the US dollar itself, right? A big reason why I love analyzing the dollar, guys, is because the dollar itself, as of right now, is still the currency reserve of the world, right? This currency, guys, holds the most weight overall, right? So if we're able to figure out a directional bias for the US dollar, then that could help us out, guys, when we're looking at other currency pairs, right, that could correlate or have a negative correlation to the US dollar itself, right? Because when we're trading currencies, guys, we're trading 2 currencies, right? I trade a majority of the majors, right, which are the US dollar pairs, right? So I need to make sure that I'm aware of where this dollar is about to go. I like to call this as like my little cheat code, right? Because if I could figure out something with this, then I have a good idea as to what can happen with a lot of other currencies, right? Let's give you as an example, right? So let's say that we're looking at the DXY, right? And we're going to say that we have a bullish dollar, right? Which means we expect the dollar to continue to go higher. Right, if we have a bullish dollar, guys, right, then what would that mean for currency pairs that we are trading if they end in USD? I want you guys to answer this in the chat, right? If we have a bullish dollar, right, and if you guys have not liked the actual stream just yet, family, do me one favor and go ahead and like the stream real quick, right? It definitely helps with just getting this video out to more people, right? But answer this question, guys, right? If we have a bullish dollar and we're looking at a currency pair that has the second pair as the dollar, what can we expect price to do here? Should we expect price to go up or should we expect price to go down, right? Go ahead and answer this in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat, right? Let me know in the chat, right? Let's see what else we got here, right? able to go. I appreciate that. Fond du lac, let's go. Okay, Eric, I'm not sure what that is. I'm pretty sure that might be French, but shout out to you. Right? We'll see my guy Drew in the building. What's going on, Drew? I appreciate you, bro. I heard you saucy. Ain't had to wait to get the sauce, so let's shout out to you, bro, for tuning in. Right, but let's go ahead and really let's keep things simple for today, right? It's my first live stream, guys, in almost, I would say, probably 2 years, right? Because I used to do live streams all the time on YouTube. But because of where I was hired to actually teach, I had to put all that on pause, right? But I'm back, right? So we're going to keep things very basic for this first stream, just so that we get everybody that's newer on the call understanding everything as well. So again, the question is, if we have a bullish dollar and the currency that we're trading right now ends in USD, what should we expect price to do? Right now, again, keep in mind, guys, right? Typically what we're trying to do here is we want to figure out what the first currency is usually going to do against the second one. Is the first one going to gain strength, or is it going to lose strength against the second one? Right? Because if it's going to lose strength, then that will cause price to go down, right? And I see you guys in the chat, bearish, downtrend, sells, down. Yeah, you guys are 100% correct, right? So if we are expecting a bullish dollar, which again, this is just a hypothetical, right, for now, right? Then yeah, the currency that ends in USD should go down. Now, what happens if it begins in USD, right? What should we expect price to do? Right, what should we expect price to do, guys? Right, if it begins with USD and now the USD is now the dominant or the base currency, what should we expect price to do? Go ahead and answer this in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I'm new here. You guys are teaching me something, right? Let me know. All right, and if you guys see me looking to the right, it's because I'm looking at the other monitor. Yeah. Right, shout out to you, Nikayla. You were first on both of those questions, right? I'm not sure if your Wi-Fi is just super fast and you're able to get it faster than everybody, but shout out to you. Yeah, guys, right? We should expect price to go up, which pretty much means we look for buys. Right? So that's as simple as it gets, guys. But this is exactly why I like to analyze the US dollar first, so that I can have a general idea of what we can expect. Right now, if we're being honest, guys, it's not always going to follow suit though, right? Because we can have a bullish dollar, but because of maybe a news event or because something's occurring, right, the other currency might just end up being stronger as well, right? That's also very possible. But this is a general way, guys, that we can just at least make it a little bit easier for us going into this week, right? Now, looking at the dollar itself, right, as you guys can see, I'm always starting off on the bigger picture, right? I always go to the daily, the 4-hour, sometimes even the weekly time frame, guys, to really get a bigger outlook of what we're looking at. Right now, if you guys have been in my sessions, guys, that I've been hosting over on the previous platform that I was educating for, right, then you guys know I've been telling everybody to buy the US dollar, this entire time, right? We've been calling out dollar strength, guys, for literally almost a year, almost a year now, right? Over a year, right? We've been calling dollar strength. Right now, there's various reasons, guys, why we've been calling dollar strength and why we've been predicting it, right? Which we'll talk about a little bit later. But overall, looking at this market, guys, I still believe that we have still a lot of momentum to the upside because we are in a bullish market. This is not too hard to see, right? This market is clearly going up, right? And one thing that I like to do, guys, right, is I like to make sure that I'm staying with the overall flow of the market, right? Overall flow, right? Remember the keywords I'm saying here is the overall flow. This market has been flowing higher. So I want to make sure that I'm aligning myself, right, with the overall flow of this market. Right now that we actually identified the trend, right? Now that we identified the flow of this market, right? Now I want to see exactly what we can expect next, right? And I have a very simple 4-step process, guys, that I like to talk about, right? Matter of fact, we're going to keep it simple today, right? And we're going to talk about a 3-step process, right? The first thing that I like to do is I always need to identify my trend. That's number one, right? I go to the bigger picture and identify the trend or the flow of this market, right? That is number one. That's non-negotiable as well, right? I do not take no trades unless I know what the overall general trend is. The second thing that I also like to do, guys, is I like to identify what I like to consider a trading range, right? Because when I'm looking at these markets, guys, I want to make sure that we're still trading inside of our range, right? That our range is actually valid. Now, what do I mean by the trading range, right? Well, when this market is actually moving, right? Very simple market structure states, right, that this market, guys, is going to be creating lower lows, lower highs, right, for downtrend, and higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend, right? So if we're looking at this market from an uptrending perspective, right, and we see the market creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and higher lows and higher highs, right, that's telling us the trend. But what we need to do is also identify our trading ranges, right? Our trading range, guys, is going to be our swing low to our swing high of that last impulsive move. Let me say that one again, right? Our trading range is the swing low to the swing high of our last impulsive move, right? So if we're looking at this swing right here, right, where we had this low to higher high point, this is our trading range for this specific level. Once price breaks that level and we're still in the trend, see, now we have a new trading range that we want to focus on. Right now, this will be our swing low to our swing high. Right now, let's go ahead and let's go even further, right? Well, if the market continues to trend, right, now we can also consider this to be our swing low to swing high. Right now, why is this important? Right, because from a technical standpoint, guys, right, we really have to be able to identify what structure is doing. Right? And when I say structure, guys, I'm talking about the important key levels that we want to focus on. Right? This swing low to swing high sequence right here is very important for me. Right? Because as long as the low does not get violated, right? As long as the low, guys, does not get taken out, right? As long as we continue to trade above this low, then our trend is still intact. Right? Which means we can see a correction like this occur, right, and still not be confused because this correction is creating these lower lows and lower highs, right, which technically lower lows, lower highs is downtrend. But as long as we're inside of our range and we don't break the low, we want to go ahead and continue looking for buys for the long term. Okay? We want to look for buys for the long term. Right? So again, as long as the low of the range is not violated, we're still looking for buys no matter what price is doing in here, right? Price can do so much, right? And obviously, you know, it might change depending on if we're at a major key level, right? If we're at a major key level, then yeah, we might be able to expect some type of reversal, right? But if we're still in a super strong trend, right, and the market is flowing, guys, then the market can do this type of a correction, which is a flag pattern, right? And then continue. Right? The market itself can also do this type of pattern right here, right? Which again, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this, inverted head and shoulders, and then still continue, right? The market can also, guys, just pretty much just accumulate and go sideways as well, right? Do something like this, even spike down a little bit more before we go ahead and then again, continue, right? The whole key thing here, guys, that if we don't violate these lows, we're still looking for long-term buys, right? Long-term bullish positions here, right? So now let's go back and look at the dollar index itself, right? And let's see what we actually got here in terms of our trading range, all right? And see what we're looking at, right? Let me go ahead and just delete all this. Bow, bow. Let me go ahead and pause this music as well. All right, so we're looking at this now, right? And I'm looking for the impulsive move, right? So for the DXY on the daily time frame, this is my impulsive move, right? This swing low right here to swing high right here, right? This is my overall impulsive move here, okay? Swing low to swing high. You can also just highlight these levels so that you are aware of these actual zones, right? Trading, this is the low of the range, right? Trading range low, okay? And then we have the high of the range up here, trading range high, okay? Let's see, trading range high, all right? Now, what this means, guys, is that the market can, and it's really been in this range, guys, literally for, I would say, probably almost a month now. Or not a month. Yeah, it's been almost in this range for almost a month now, right? But that doesn't matter, because either way, I'm eventually going to be expecting price to actually break out and continue in the bullish run. Right now, guys, when I say that, I want you guys to be aware of this. Remember what I said about our range low. As long as this low does not get violated, we're still looking for long-term buys, right? So price can also give us a pullback down, and that's not going to overall change my bias, right? If price was to go ahead and go lower, I'm still going to be looking for eventually that opportunity to go higher, right? Because our range low is down here. If price breaks the range low, see, at that point, now I'm out the markets, right? Or not, it's not that I'm out, but at that point, now I'm going to be like, all right, you know what? This market could possibly be very bearish now, right? Long term, we should be looking for some more bearish continuations to the downside if the range finally gets violated. But we don't have that just yet, right? So since we don't have that, we want to make sure that we're continuously looking for the next bullish move. Right, now let's go ahead and get into the step number 3, right? And again, there is a step that I'm going to leave out for now, right? Just because it is a little bit more advanced, right? And that's more so talking about liquidity, how to identify liquidity pools in these markets, how to identify mitigation, right? All that advanced stuff, we're going to keep out of it, right? So we're going to talk about just our entries next, right? If we're looking for opportunities, right? And we want to look for potential areas to enter, and I'm going to be very general today. Like I said, we're going to keep things simple. Right, we want to just pretty much focus on previous levels of structure, right? What I like to say is previous levels of structure, right? You guys might know it as support and resistance, right? Same exact thing, just different terminology. Right now, for all my newer traders on the call, what is, say, support and resistance? Right, very simple, right? Resistance acts like a ceiling, right? It's when price reaches a certain price point and it completely rejects from that level, right? That is a resistance point. Right? Think about it like this, guys, right? If you were to say take your phone or take an object right now and you were to throw it at the ceiling, right? Besides gravity putting it back down, if you were to throw an object at the ceiling, that ceiling is going to resist that object that you just threw, and it's going to go right back down to the floor. Right now, support acts like a floor, right? And support, same thing as resistance, is where it reaches a certain price point after falling, and then it bounces off, right? It's a support level. Same thing, a floor, right? We're all being supported right now. Every single one of us, we're all being supported right now by a floor. Currently, as we speak, right? This floor right now that I'm actually sitting on is supporting me. Right now, let's say I had a basement downstairs, right? I don't have a basement in this house, but let's say we had a basement, right? If I were to go ahead and jump hard enough on this basement, or on this floor, it could eventually break. Right, and if that level does break, and if a previous support level, say, does break, right, and I end up in the basement, that previous level of support or that last floor is now going to turn into a resistance, right? Floor, once broken, turns into resistance, right? That support as well is also the flip side, right? That support, once broken, can also turn back into resistance, right? That's the simple concept, guys, of support and resistance and what it truly is. Right now, when we're looking at, guys, certain levels to find potential trades or entries from, right? Now, again, we're not going to trade the DXY, and I'm just giving you guys examples of how to find these things, right? But we want to look at previous levels of support and resistance or previous levels of structure. Right, this current level, guys, that we're now seeing right here at around the 97 level, 97.4, 97.5, 97.6, right, this is acting as a level of support, right? So when price comes to this level, we can possibly expect a reaction from it, right, where that support can possibly hold, and then we could possibly look for a possible trade from that level, right? And I'm using the words possible a lot, right? Because that's really what it is, right? It's possible areas, guys, right? Again, trading is all about probabilities, right? Trading is all about probability. We got to just make sure that we're taking the most probable trade ideas based off the information that we're given, right? So this support has been holding pretty strong, right? We have support right here, support right here, right? We have support right here, right? So it's been acting as support, guys. So this is a pretty strong floor, right? So yeah, there is a possibility for price to come here, and then we could possibly look for that continuation. Right now, we also have to really think outside the box as well sometimes, right? I'm all about thinking outside the box, right? But I also want to look at previous levels of structure, right, that we can possibly see some reactions from as well, right? If we look at this right here, guys, this level right here was acting as a resistance, right? It was a previous level that was acting as a ceiling. Price went up there, it rejected. Price went up there, it rejected, right? So that was a resistance point. Eventually, we did end up breaking it, right? Price corrected, and then we eventually continued, right? But previous levels of resistance can also be utilized as previous levels or as newfound levels of support, right? One thing about trading, guys, especially from a technical standpoint, you want to use history to try to help you predict the future, right? Use history to predict the future, right? So even if price was to say go ahead and break this support, right? Because again, I'm gonna teach you guys a lot of information, family, that might go against what you guys are normally taught here, right? Because I don't trade like a normal retail trader does, right? I'm always thinking outside the box, right? So for me, when I look at these levels of support, most newer traders or most traders in general, they're gonna be like, man, the more reactions or the more rejections that we get, the stronger the level. I actually think the opposite way, right? The more touches that we get to a certain level, the weaker it actually becomes, right? And again, I'm not going to get into as to why. That's more, again, just understanding how institutionals work, right? But even if this level does break, right, then we're going to be able to find newfound support possibly over here, right? And if I'm looking for a long-term potential entry here, it's either going to happen from here, right? But since we tested it a bunch of times, it actually could be very weak moving forward, right? And I will be looking instead all the way over here to look for a possible reaction to go ahead and find the next move, right? In fact, guys, if we really want to look at this, right, I'm going to show you guys an example of literally price doing this exact play, right, where we actually break the support, right, that everybody's going to think is a strong support, break it only for it to continue, right? Find a newfound support and then continue. Right, so look at this right here, right? Let me go ahead and bring out my replay tool, right? I love the replay tool, by the way, right? If you guys are not utilizing the replay tool, guys, then start utilizing, right? That's the best way to really back test, the best way to really look at the markets and really see if your strategy truly works. All right, so let's go ahead and just take it back, right? Let's go back to the end of last year and what the dollar was doing, right? So at the end of last year, guys, we had a nice strong push up, right? We had our trading range low right here, trading range high up here, right? We ended up having this strong level of support be created, right? So a lot of traders were probably looking to buy the dollar off of there, right? Where, again, for me, I typically don't like looking at these obvious levels. I'm just being honest, right? And again, I'll teach you guys some of that, again, sometime in the future. I actually have a few videos this week that's going to break down exactly why I look at the markets this way, right? But look at what happened, guys, right? We had this level of support. Yes, price could have went higher from here, and it would have been cool, right? But the more touches to the support, the actual weaker it becomes. So look what price ends up doing, right? Price ends up breaking that support, running the lows, and then eventually we come to this new level of support over previous resistance turn support, and then price absolutely starts flying, right? Look at same exact play that I think if we're going to be looking for a possible play, right, that's what I think is going to happen next, right? So let me go ahead and go back to where we're currently at now, right? Let me go ahead and just highlight my trading range low again, right? So right now we're building up this level of support again, right here, right? A lot of rookie traders or a lot of traders that are really not as profitable as you think, right, are probably looking to buy off of this support because of how strong, in their opinion, how quote unquote strong it is. For me, I'm like, man, that is probably going to be weaker and weaker as it comes. So I think, guys, the dollar index, yes, there's a possibility to go up from there, but I think we actually have a bigger chance of breaking it, coming lower, and then from there, we actually go ahead and get back into the trend itself, right? So this is pretty much my overall outlook, guys, for the dollar index itself going into this week and honestly going into this year. Right, I might be the only trader saying this, guys, but I truly believe, and I've been saying this literally for the longest, right, that this is the year of the dollar itself, the U.S. dollar, right? And there's obviously so many different reasons that are probably affecting this, right? And why I'm saying this, and it's more so from a fundamental standpoint, guys, why I think that the dollar is going to be extremely strong this entire year. I mean, guys, go ahead and answer this in the chat, by the way, right? From a fundamental standpoint, why could we potentially expect the dollar to actually be continue to gaining strength into this year, right? I want you guys to answer this. Let me know in the chats, right? Let me know in the chats, guys, right? Who knows the answer? Let me go ahead and turn on this light as well, right? I see it's getting a little dark out. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and plug this light in as well. And answer that in the chat. There we go. Right, answer that in the chat, guys. Why, from a fundamental standpoint, could we potentially expect the dollar to continue gaining strength? Who knows? Who knows? Right, let's see. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in, by the way. Let's see. Are you still with IML? Technically, yeah, but I'm not an educator for them no more. I don't educate for IML no more. Right, I do not educate for IML no more. Right, so, but again, the question here, guys, is why could we expect the U.S. dollar to continue gaining strength from a fundamental standpoint? I see we got a couple people saying it. Right, shout out to you, Rodney. I see you. Right, shout out to you, Shade. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Shout out to you, Kyle. Right, Dominic, I see you as well. Right, yeah, guys, we're talking about, we have various things, right? We have inflation that we're dealing with. Right, we have interest rates which are getting hiked up. Right, the U.S. is literally planning at least six different hikes this year, right? At least 0.25%. In fact, they might even raise rates 0.50 basis points in this next meeting, depending on how inflation continues to read out. Guys, inflation is a big deal. Inflation is really causing the Federal Reserve to tighten up monetary policy much sooner than they wanted to, right? Guys, put this in perspective, right? At the end of last year, they were predicting only 2 rate hikes. Only 2. Right? But because inflation has not slowed down whatsoever, now they're predicting 6 interest rate hikes. Right? As interest rates get hiked, the equities markets, stock markets and things like that is probably going to lose value. Right? Because now investors have to make decisions on whether they want to continue investing or having their money in the equities markets during a period where interest rates are going up. Or they're actually deciding on whether they want to actually go and sit on cash. Right? So when interest rates are going up, I truly believe that the dollar itself is going to gain value because investors are now going ahead and starting to hoard a lot more cash. Now, again, this is just my opinion, right? I could be wrong, but this is my general opinion, guys, and we've been pretty accurate so far. Right, so yeah, we have inflation, we have interest rates, we're still dealing with COVID, we're still dealing with supply chain issues, which as a whole is affecting the economy as a whole. Right, so I still think we're still going to be extremely bullish for the US dollar. It's just a matter of finding what level we're truly going to start trending from. Again, yes, we could bounce off of this support right there and go higher. That's fine. But I truly believe we're going to want to go ahead and go lower this level of structure before we actually go ahead and continue, right? Just so that we can see some type of a liquidation, right, of these markets before the market continues to rally, right? So that's what I think is going to happen personally, right? That's my general opinion, guys, for the dollar. Let's go ahead and take a look at other currency pairs as well and see what we actually can get here, right? And again, we're keeping things as simple as possible today, right? Now, I actually like looking at the Euro USD, right? Euro USD is probably one of my favorite pairs. Just because it does the exact opposite of the US dollar. Like, it does the exact opposite, guys, right? If you guys don't believe me, let me go ahead and show you guys something real quick, right? Let me go ahead. Where's my compare tool? All right, let's go ahead and add the DXY on our screen, right? If you really look at the DXY and you compare it to the Euro USD, guys, which the orange is the DXY, the dollar index, which the dollar index itself, guys, is an index that's being measured against a basket of other currencies. That's exactly what the DXY is, right? It's the dollar against a basket of currencies. But if we're being honest, majority of that basket is made up of the euro, right? Which is why it has such a strong negative correlation with it, right? So yeah, if we expect the dollar to continue to go higher long term, right, then we can expect the euro to continue to drop long term. right? Just because they have a very strong negative correlation with each other. I mean, look at the screen, right? The orange is the dollar, right? The orange back in December found its support, right? In May, retested the support, and it's going to do the same exact thing for the euro, right? So that's why I like trading the euro, just because it's very predictable if we can figure out what the dollar's about to do, right? So let's go ahead and see what we got here now, okay? So keeping things simple, remember what we said. Step number 1 is the trend. What is the flow of this market right here, guys? Right? What is the flow of this market, right? I need help here. I need you guys to teach me something. What's the flow of this market? Right? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we uptrend? Are we downtrend? You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Right? What's the flow of this market, right? And if you guys have not liked the video just yet, family, just do me one solid. Go ahead and just like the video, please. Right? It definitely helps me out tremendously. Right? Because the one downfall, guys, of taking a hiatus from YouTube is that YouTube really doesn't mess with you. The algorithm does not mess with you unless you prove that you're going to be consistent again, right? And with that consistency is also going to involve all the likes and the comments, right? You guys see all these YouTubers saying like and comment and subscribe. It's because it really does help out tremendously, right? So if you appreciate the stream, if you are going to be jumping on the stream as well, continuously moving forward, then go ahead and just like it, right? It doesn't cost you anything, but it definitely helps me out tremendously. Because like I said, my goal is to be the #1 Forex trader on YouTube, right? The #1. I know we have a lot of phenomenal ones on here, but ain't nobody like Abel Melendez. I promise you that. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so yeah, guys, very simple, right? This market is flowing to the downside. That's not hard. That's very easy, right? That's very, very easy, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at our trading range, right? We found our flow. What's our range? Well, we have the swing high to swing low. Swing high, swing low. That's our range, right? So that means, guys, that price can very easily continue to correct if it wants to. And as long as it doesn't break the highs, we're going to be looking for continuations long term. Again, the keyword here is long term, right? So as long as we don't break the highs, we're still going to be looking for some sells, long-term sells, long-term sells. Okay? So that's our range. Right now, as for entries, right, where can we look for potential entries from? Right, well, look at previous levels of structure. Right, remember, we use history to help us predict the future. Right, this level right here, guys, has acted as support. Price broke through it, it came back up, and now it has been acting as resistance. So is there a chance for price to continue dropping from here? Heck yeah, there is. Right, there very much is. Right? We also want to be able to, and this is another nugget. We also, guys, when we do get to key levels like this, we also really have to analyze, or at least look at, price action as well. Right? When I talk about market structure, I'm talking about the levels that are being created, the key levels, the patterns, right? But when I'm talking about price action, I'm talking about your ability to read and react to what price is doing. Right? So I'm looking at this price action off of this key level. Also, if you guys can see on the screen, I also do have one moving average up there. Let me see if I can make it a little bit darker for y'all, so you guys can see a little bit more. All right, let me actually change. I'm gonna change the color. Right, I want you guys to see that moving average, right? Because that moving average is definitely a little. I like to say indicators, guys, are like training wheels. Right, indicators are training wheels. Right, it makes it so much easier for you to identify things. Right, so we are also seeing a reaction or a rejection, right, from the moving average. Right, so we have a lot of bearishness that's coming off of these levels. Right, and we also closed the previous 2 days as bearish candles. So what does that mean? Well, that means, guys, that there is a chance for price to, at the very least, probably continue in this bearish trend until we come and test this area of demand. Right, which again, supply and demand is something that we're also going to drop a lot of videos for you guys on how to read supply and demand levels. Right, but we have this level of demand down here. Right, and now since we have been bearish, right, there is a possibility for price to continue in this momentum going into this week. Right, staying with that until we go ahead and reach this level of demand. Right, so for me, guys, going into this week, I think there's a good chance that we could look for a potential continuation to sell Euro USD, at least for now, right? At least until we get into that demand zone. All right, so let's go ahead and go to lower time frame now, right? Let's go to lower time frame and see what we're looking at here. Okay, now I'm on the 4-hour time frame, right? And now I'm really trying to identify what is really happening here, right? Again, I'm looking at price action, right? I already identified our key levels, our structure, right? Now I'm just reading price action, right? Based off price action, guys, we had, again, a lot of demand off of this level, which caused this massive big candle, right? Then we had this level of support be created, and then price continued, but then eventually we had a lot of momentum that ultimately came and broke below this level of support, right? So if we're able, and again, the keyword here is if, right? I'm going to the 1 hour as well. If we're able to see price go ahead and give us a pullback up, right? Then we might be able to look for an opportunity to go ahead and short this market right down into this demand zone that we are initially looking at. Okay, I hope this is making a little bit of sense, guys, right? Because we're looking at things from a bigger picture, and now we're working our way down, right? Bigger picture, I'm still short Euro USD, right? I'm short Euro USD all day. Right now on the smaller time frames, we see that price action is showing that this market is getting extremely choppy, right? That momentum that we had just experienced from this resistance level is now starting to slow down, right? So this could potentially be a clue leading towards the market wanting to pull back up. And if we are able to get that pullback, that's good news, right? Because then we will have the ability to go ahead and look for the next opportunity to short this market, right? I hope that making sense, guys. Right now, where can we look for a potential short from? Previous levels of structure. Again, use history to predict the future. Use history to predict the future, right? So we have these levels of structure right here, right? So if we are able to see price, guys, go ahead and bounce up, right? If we can get a nice little spike up in this market, right? Maybe tonight, going into London session tonight, if we can get a reaction back up to here, I'm personally not gonna be scared to sell it, right? That's just me, right? I'm personally not going to be scared to sell it. In fact, we could possibly look for some type of opportunity like this, right? To go ahead and target into this demand zone, right? This is what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight, into London session tonight, right? Then into New York session, right? Just by reading price action, looking at my key levels, and now just ready for that next trade to get in. Right, so this is not a bad play, guys. If we're able to see price push back up, then I'll be looking to short this market up here. Stop loss going to be above this wick, right? Stop loss going to be above this level, right? And then hopefully we can go ahead and get an entry and then go ahead and ride this thing down. Right now, again, the thing about trading is, guys, right, is that we can have all the confirmations in the world, right? We can have all the confirmations that line up, and the trade will still not go in your favor. It is what it is, right? The thing about trading is that you have to be comfortable with taking L's whenever they do show itself, right? So how I'm going to be playing this, guys, right? If we look at this is a 2.5, almost a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward, right? I'm more focused on risk to reward than I am on actual win rate, right? So many newer traders come in and they want to be the most accurate trader in the world, which is not even that serious, right? If you understand risk to reward, then you could be 40% accurate and still be profitable. You could be 50% accurate, 60% accurate, 70% accurate, and be extremely profitable as long as you truly understand risk to reward. Right, guys, I'm going to be honest. Right, I get this question all the freaking time. Abel, what is the golden nugget of trading? What is the golden sauce? What am I missing? Risk to reward is the golden sauce. Risk to reward is the golden nugget. Right, if you know that you're not an accurate trader, if you know that you're not literally winning trades consistently, then give yourself better chances by giving yourself better risk to rewards. Look for opportunities, guys, that are going to give you a better risk to reward. Right? In fact, I have mentors, right, that are 40% accurate, right? Only winning 4 out of 10 trades, but yet they're up 7-8 figures, right? Multi-millionaire traders, right? It's because they're not focused on winning every single trade, right? They focus on their rules, their strategy. They find that they follow their strategy, and then they just deal with the outcome of it, right? But because their risk to reward is so good, risking, they're doing 1 to 5s, 1 to 6 risk to reward, they're able to still profit, right? So don't focus so much on win rate. Focus on risk to reward. That's what's really going to get you in the bag. That's what's really going to see you actually going to allow your account to truly grow, right? Because you could take 2-3 losses in a row. If you have a 4-to-1 risk to reward consistently, then you can literally make up all those losses back with just one win, right? Again, guys, that's the sauce right there. Don't focus so much on win rate. Focus more on risk to reward. That's going to allow you to get to the bag, right? So for tonight, I would not be surprised if we see price go ahead and push higher, and then we eventually see that thing roll over to the downside, right? That is some sauce, guys, that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, right? If it happens, cool, I'm taking the trade. If it doesn't, it is what it is, right? If price just continues to do this little choppiness all the way down here, then it is what it is, right? That might just be setting up for a nice buy off of this demand zone instead, right? That's just another way to look at it, if it does happen, right? But I want to see price pull back and then give us a potential entry to go lower, right? That's what I'm personally going to be looking at. Another nugget as well, guys, right? I just added volume, right? I just added volume, guys, to the charts, right? This is another nugget that you can use, right? Divergence using volume, right, is actually very powerful, right? Because volume does help you out tremendously identify where the big money orders are being placed, right? So if we are able to see price push back up here, right, but yet the volume is extremely low, right? We have low volume on this push up and we have low buying volume at these levels, then that's just another clue telling us that, yeah, these areas we could really see a reaction from, right? So also add some volume into it, guys, and really look at your volume and how volume is looking like when we do get into those key levels. Because if we have low buy volume up in this level, I'm selling that even more. I'm selling it all day, right? I only risk 2%, guys, for every trade that I take, right? So if I'm risking 2% here, right? If I'm risking 2% and we have a 2-to-1 risk to reward, right? Which means I'm risking 2%. I'm going to be going for 4% gains, right? This is exactly what I'm going to be looking for tonight. I'm risking 2% of my account balance, right? And I'm going to be targeting 4% gains. Well, technically over 4% gains, right? And get in the habit of doing that. Do at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward, guys, when you guys are trading, right? And if you want talking dollar amount, if you're risking $10, then your target should be 20, right? If you're risking $20, then your target should be 40. Right, I personally talk in terms of percentages, right? So if I'm risking 2%, then my target is gonna be 4. If I'm risking 5%, then my target is gonna be 10, right? For the 2-to-1 risk to reward opportunity, right? But this is not a bad setup, guys, that you could really keep your eyes on, right? So let's see what do we got here. Let's see what we got here. Definitely makes sense. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. We got, let's see, we even got one of my mentors in the building. Shout out to Skag Academy family. If you guys are not followed, if you guys are not subscribed to the Skag Academy channel, go ahead and do that. That's actually one of my mentors. I will forever show hella love to him, right? Because he really did help me out tremendously throughout this journey, right? So big shout out to my brother Skags for tuning in. We're going to have to do a joint session here soon, my bro. Right, but yeah, guys, this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? Looking for an opportunity to potentially get us into this demand zone. Right, and let's go ahead and look at some other opportunities, right? And see what else we can look at. Right now, I'm a big fan, guys, of trading pound yen. Right, I love the pound yen as well. Right, being able to really identify what the pound yen is doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this market, right? And again, it's going to be the same thing. The same steps that I use is the same steps I use for everything. Okay, so let's look at this market here. Right, so looking at the pound yen, guys. Right, what would we say is the actual momentum of this market right now, right? What is the flow of this market, right? What is the trend of this market, right? I can use so many different words, but I want y'all to really see it. What is the flow or what is the trend of this market currently right now? Answer this in the chat because I'm confused. I need some help. Right? What is the flow or the trend of this market currently, guys? Right? What do you guys think? Right, and if you guys have not liked the video just yet, family, again, do me one solid. I know it's going to be annoying because I'm going to continuously say this, but it truly does help out. Right, again, my goal is to be the #1 Forex trader on YouTube, right? Not based off of anything else, but based off the value that I provide. Right, so please go ahead and continue to like up this video if you guys have not liked it just yet. Right, it definitely helps me out tremendously. All right, so let's see what we got here, right? Bullish, consolidation. Bullish, right? Yeah. guys, I'm looking at this market, right? And yeah, technically, right, I don't like to use the word consolidation, right? Because yeah, the market is going sideways, but there's usually a lot more happening inside of that sideways market, right? But we're talking about either bullish or bearish, right? What is the overall flow of this market, right? And I would say that the flow here, guys, is bullish, right? I'm saying that this market is up, right? We're seeing this market, guys, flow to the upside, right? Especially when we've seen this market go ahead and create this high, right? We have swing low to swing high sequence right here, right? This is a big move, right? So I say that the momentum is definitely to the upside for sure, right? And I want to continue understanding where the overall momentum truly is. So now let's go ahead and identify our trading range, right? We have our swing low and we have our swing high, right? We have swing low, we have swing high, right? So when I'm looking at this market, guys, now I know that we're bullish. I know that we have been flowing genuinely to the upside, right? Now I highlighted my range, right? And as long as we do not violate this low, right, we still want to eventually long-term look for some continuations long-term, right? But let's go ahead and now identify our key levels, right? Let's look for our key levels that we're playing off of, right? So we have this support level, guys, that we're currently reacting off of right now, right? But then we also have this support level down here as well, right, that we can also highlight. In fact, we also even have another one, right, even lower, right, that I also want to highlight as well. This one down here as well, right? So we have various levels that we can expect some type of reaction from, right? Various levels that price can react from, right? This is the thing, guys, right? I'm not no genie, right? I'm not a psychic, right? I really don't know exactly which level. I can have an idea based off price action, based off certain clues, but nobody really knows exactly what level price is going to really fly from. We really don't know, right? It could continue going from this level right here. It could go from this level down here, or it can even go from this level down here, right? 3 different areas, guys, where we can expect the bullishness to possibly come back into play. That's just the truth, right? If somebody tells you that they know exactly when price is, that's cap, right? That's not true, guys, right? Because again, the market gonna do what it wants to do at the end of the day, right? There's certain events, guys, that could occur that can cause the markets to completely not listen to you, right? You guys want to know why trading, short-term trading and short-term investing is so hard? You guys really want to know why? Right? Why 90% of traders do not succeed in this is as simple as because there's so many different factors that move these markets. Guys, so many different factors control these markets. So many different things occur on a daily basis that influence these markets, right? So it's very hard to actually trade because of the unpredictableness of this market. That's just the reality, right? So we have certain key levels that we have here, right, that we're looking at. All right, I'm going lower time frame now. Okay, matter of fact, before I go lower time, I want you guys to read price action, right? Read the price action again, right? Again, when we're on the bigger time frame, what is price action doing? Right? We see price, guys, we ended up coming up to this resistance point. We left a huge wick, but we initially seen a bearish reaction from this level, right? In fact, we had a bearish reaction. We came right down to this support, right? And now we're just now seeing price acting as support. But I think, right, guys, right, we can see more bearishness to coming into this week, right? Just based off the price action that we're actually looking at, right? Based off the reactions that we're seeing here, right? I'm reading price action now, right? And I'm trying to identify what price is doing, right? We had this level right here of support, this minor level. I'm going to show you guys on a smaller time frame, right? We have this previous level of resistance now acting as, well, previous level of resistance turned to support. We broke through it and now is acting as resistance again, right? So again, I would not be surprised, guys, right, if price does end up continuing to sell off for GJ going into this week. In fact, that's pretty much what I'm going to be pretty much lining up for. I want to see more continuations lower, right, for GJ, right? I mean, we did have a massive run here, right? This was extremely bullish, right? I think we still have a lot more breathing period to occur. I think we have a lot more downside to really coming into this week for GJ, right? So now let's go ahead and really look at what we're seeing here, right? I'm going to continue going lower time frame now so that we can go ahead and really see what's going on here, right? So we see price, reprice action, and structure, right? We had a lot of momentum come down, right? Ever since then, we have just been in this choppy range, choppiness. Right now, we're even creating like another smaller little range inside of there, right? We have this flag pattern with another, right? So I think there's a good chance, guys, right, for price to realistically really go ahead and continue lower from these levels. I would not be surprised at all if we do continue lower from these levels, right? I'm on the 1 hour time frame, by the way. We are right now testing the 50 period moving average on the 1 hour. So if we can get a break below the 50, right, a break below the 50, then we could potentially see a follow through to continue. Okay, a break below the 50, right, which is the red line, there is a potential for price to continue lower. I would not be surprised, guys, if by tomorrow morning we're trading lower for GJ. Right now, I'm not saying we're going to go all the way down to here, but there's a chance for us to really go ahead and start coming lower, retest this channel, possibly break it, pull back once again, and then look for the continuation, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight as well. Going into London session tonight, New York session in the morning. I want to see if we can have some type of follow through, right, to continue with this bearishness. Now, if price doesn't do that and we actually spike up higher, it's no big deal, right? Then I'll just see how price action is around these areas instead. Right, that's also why I want to see a break of the aqua or of the 50 period moving average. Right, I want to see a break of the 50 before I have any type of consideration to get in. Right, because yeah, price could go up, and if it does, that's cool. Right, but when it does go up, then I'll just be looking for another opportunity to short. Right, I hope this is making a little bit of sense, guys. Right, I hope this does. Right, because this is again some very saucy information that you guys can utilize to really start helping out your guys' trading for sure. Right, but again, it's all about simplicity, right? You guys see how I did this on GJ? I'm keeping things as simple as possible, right? I identified the trend on the bigger picture, right? We are overall bullish, but I think based off price action, we can expect some more bearishness, right? Again, I'm using structure to identify the overall flow, but I'm using price action to identify what we can currently or what we could possibly see, right? The reaction that we've seen up here, in my opinion, could lead to more bearishness. Right? So that's what I would like to see, a continuation. Right now, family, if you guys have any questions about anything, by all means, right, ask them questions. Right? One thing you guys are going to learn about me is that I love answering questions. Right? I answer almost every question that pretty much gets thrown out there. Right? So let's see what we got here. Abel, since you're not teaching for IML anymore, does that mean your trading course is coming back to life? Thanks for all your sauce, bro. You've helped me tremendously. Shout out to you, Alexander. I appreciate you as well. Right? But I can't sell. Right? I cannot sell Forex education for the next year, right? I cannot sell. The keyword here is sell, right? I cannot sell any type of Forex course, any type of mentorship, right, over the next year because I was on contract when I was teaching for that platform and there was a non-compete clause, so I can't sell anything, right? So mentorship-wise, it's going to be free right here on YouTube, right? And then after a year, maybe sometime next year, I'll go ahead and I'll create a course, right? But that's literally a whole year from now, right? But for now, I'm focused on just providing you guys with as much free value as possible, right? And then in the future, if that time comes and I create another course, then so be it, right? But for now, I'm just focused on giving you guys a lot of free value, right? So that's where we're at with that. Let's see what else we got here, right? Can I be like you? Shout out to my guy, Drew. Drew, we're going to have to get you on here as well, all right? We're going to have to get all of the people that I know actually have some value to provide. You know me, I'm all about putting people in position, right? So if you guys have some value to provide, I have no issues going ahead and allowing you to showcase exactly what you know, to the public, right? Especially as these numbers continue to go higher, right? As we start to get a lot more people on these live streams, if you have some sauce to provide, I'm more than willing to give you the platform to go ahead and provide it because you never know. I could even possibly learn from it. So, hey, the chance is there, right? The chance is there for sure, okay? So we'll see what happens though, right? But guys, GJ, very interesting. We'll see what happens going into tonight. If we're going to be able to really see price go ahead and break below the 50. If we can go ahead and close below the 50 here on the 1 hour, then I'll definitely be liking some potential shorts. At least back to test the trend line, right? And if not, at least to come back down and test, this zone that we have down here, right? That's really where I want to see price come down to, at least to this zone. And then if we continue breaking it, then we can just continue riding that out, for however long as possible, right? So, that's going to be dope to see. if we can do it, right? So that's going to be my eyes, what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight. All right, now another opportunity, guys, that I also wanted to talk about was gold, right? Because I know gold is a favorite of a lot of traders, right? A lot of traders love trading gold, right? And I get it, right? Gold is extremely volatile to actually trade, right? But a few things about gold, guys. Gold is also, right, heavily influenced by fundamental analysis, right? Like heavily influenced, guys, because gold is a safe haven currency, right? In times of chaos, in times of fear, right? Listen to me closely. In times of chaos and in times of fear, gold can benefit from that, right? Do we have a lot of chaos and do we have a lot of fear in this world currently today? Yes or no? Answer that in the chat, guys. Answer that in the chat, right? Do we have a lot of chaos and do we have a lot of fear currently in the markets today? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Let's see, quick question. You start off on the daily time frame? Yes, 100%, right? I always typically like to look, especially at the beginning of the week, right? If I'm doing my weekly outlook, then yeah, I want to make sure I'm aware of what the bigger picture is telling me, right? So you want to do a top-down analysis, right? That's called a top-down analysis, right? Start from the bigger picture and then work your way down, all right? But yeah. All right, so again, guys, remember what I said about gold, right? Gold benefits from fear in the markets. We are dealing with a lot of fear in these markets, right? We already spoke about a few, right? Inflation, right? The war that's happening with Russia and Ukraine, which is influencing every country, right? We have interest rates going up, right? Which is definitely going to cause some fear in the markets, right? We're still technically dealing with COVID, which is crazy, right? It's not COVID-19. It's like COVID-22 at this point, right? It's been like 3 years, right? And it's not, so that's not going away, right? We're still dealing with supply chain issues, right? Which I don't think that's going to be settled anytime soon, right? So we do have a lot of fears, right? Obviously right now is inflation is probably the most known one, right? Inflation and now this whole situation with the war, which is probably going to drive inflation even higher, right? So yeah, there's a lot of fear in the markets right now, right? So because of that, yeah, gold is probably going to benefit from the fear, right? So I want to go ahead and again, gold can literally react in so many different ways, but I want to just highlight, what we've been doing with gold, right? We've been extremely choppy, guys, with gold, at least for the past couple weeks now, right? Where we just been inside of this little range right here, right? And I'm looking for a breakout, or I want to eventually see, guys, gold to continue higher, right? There's so much fear in this market from a fundamental standpoint. I don't see why gold won't continue higher. Right? I'm bullish gold, right? Just like I'm bullish the US dollar because of all the fear and the chaos in the world, right? So I eventually want to see if price can give us an opportunity to go higher, okay? So if price comes back down to this support, there's an opportunity to go long on, right? If it does, right? If price, which I think it will, if price does come back down to here, and if we actually go ahead and respect this level, right, then there is an opportunity, guys, for us to go ahead and go long on it, right? I don't want to be looking at gold where we're currently at. I mean, I'm not going to say that, right, because there is a possibility, right? We do have these minor structure levels, right, these internal structure levels that could potentially hold, right? Like, yeah, this 4-hour support could hold, right, and price could go higher from there, right? But since we're below the moving average, I don't want to buy from right here, right? I don't want to buy from there, right? Because then if price drops, I'm going to be very upset. Right, so I don't want to buy gold off of this 4-hour support, even though it is there. I want to see if we can come back down to this demand zone, and off of this demand zone, if we can get a reaction, then I will try to take an attempt to go higher, right? Or if we just see price go ahead and break above the 50-period moving average, then that's another opportunity for us to go long on, right? If we're able to go higher, that's another potential, right? That's another potential, right? If we can go ahead and break structure back to the upside, then yeah, that's an opportunity, right? But where we're currently at right now, right? Not just yet, right? Where we're currently at right now, I'm chilling, right? I'm chilling on the sidelines, right? Because price can really do either or, right? Price can either respect this level right here of support, this minor level of support right here. It can definitely respect it if it wants to, right? It can respect it there, but I'm not interested in that, right? It is what it is if it goes higher. Now, if we actually go ahead and break above the moving average, right? If we break above the moving average, see, then I might be tempted to look for something, right? But where we're currently at right now, I'm probably chilling, right? Because there's a chance that price might actually want to continue to go ahead and retest the bigger zone that we down here, right? So again, I'm on the sidelines for it. You know, if you guys have an opportunity that you guys are looking at, if you guys are looking at this support and saying, but Abel, this support is so strong, bro, I mean, then take the trade, right? I could be wrong, right? Price can start flying from this level, right? And I have no issue being wrong, guys, right? That's one thing you guys are going to learn about me. I have no issue being wrong, right? I have no issue whatsoever taking an L, right? And I think that's why I'm probably successful today. It's because I don't care about taking a loss. If I take a loss, I accept it, I collect the data behind that loss, and then I go ahead and look for my next setup. Because losing is normal, right? Losing is going to happen. You can't avoid losses, guys, in this game. You just can't. It's impossible to avoid losses, right? So you got to just accept the loss and just move past it, right? So, I mean, either way, I'm not going to lose because I'm not looking for no opportunity here. Right, but if you are looking for opportunity, don't let me stop you. If you like this support level right here for whatever reason, then do your thing. I just need to see it at least down here, or I need to see it at least above the moving average before I look for anything. That's just me, right? That's just part of my system, part of my strategy, part of how I trade. Right? So again, I'm not trying to. I don't want to steer nobody away from it. If you like this level, you do what you do. Okay? You do what you do. All right. Let's see what else we got here. The markets are like a book. The higher time frames tell the trader the overall, while the lower time frames are the current chapters. I love that, Lewis. I actually said that too a while ago, right? And that's so true, right? I love that analogy, right? Because it's so true, right? You know, the bigger picture is giving you the overall story, right? But the lower time frames are pretty much breaking that story up into smaller chapters, right? You know, that's such a great analogy for sure, right? So, guys, this is where we're at for gold. You know, I'm good on it unless we actually break above the moving average or we see a spike down. Down here, I'm buying all day long, right? Or up here above the moving average, I'm buying all day long, right? But family, overall, it has been a phenomenal session, right? I want to say thank you to every single one of y'all that been on these sessions or that actually been on this session this entire time, right? And thank you to you guys as well that might have just jumped on this session. Right, but I want you guys to know I'm going to be doing these live sessions, guys, every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern moving forward for the rest of my life, right? Like, that's how serious I am because I'm going all in now with YouTube, right? I literally gave the last 3 to 4 years of my life teaching for another platform, and I'm extremely grateful for that, right? I would never take anything away for that, right? But now I want to go ahead and build my brand, right? I want to go ahead and help you guys out, right, by building this whole opportunity and building this whole thing up. Right, and that's exactly what I'm going to be focusing on, is providing you guys with as much value as possible. And if you guys are able to take this value and really, you know, turn things up a notch, that's all I care for. Right, so family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. If you guys have not liked the video just yet, just do it really, really quick before we sign off. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, I do have my Instagram, guys, right at the top of the actual screen. Go ahead and give me a follow. I'll actually follow back every single one of you guys that follow me back right now. I'll give you guys a follow back right now as well. Right now, as we speak. Right? Just to show love to all of you guys that actually were on the call. So that you guys see that I truly care about y'all, right? So if you guys follow me right now, I'm definitely going to go ahead and provide you guys with a follow back. And we'll definitely go ahead and continue and be excited for these moving forward. Right? But family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Are you saving this and posting? Yeah, everything is saved, right? It's all going to be right on my channel, right on my YouTube. It's going to be all free. It's going to be all documented. It's all be right there as well. All right, but family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on, and I will see you guys all next week on my next session. And be ready for the videos that I drop this week as well, right? Because we're going to drop a banger, 2 bangers every single week. 2 new videos every single week on top of the live stream that we're going to do on Sundays. So family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Let's get it. Let me go ahead and turn back on my music. And we gonna get up out of here. All right, family. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's get it.
Bluetooth connected.